The first time I saw her was on the transport shuttle from Earth to the Orbital Academy, the Solaris Ring, humanity's pride among the stars. The station glittered like a halo around Earth, an academic citadel for every species under the Galactic Accord. I'd been dreaming of getting there for years. But the ride-up was nothing like I expected. The passenger cabin was packed, students, diplomats' children, recruits from distant colonies. Yet amid the noise, there was one seat left empty. Everyone pretended not to see it. It wasn't because the seat was broken. It was because she was sitting next to it. She wasn't human. Her skin shimmered faintly, not metallic, not quite luminous, like liquid starlight trapped beneath a thin membrane. Her eyes were too wide, too still. And her hair, if you could call it that, drifted weightlessly, like strands of plasma that refused to obey gravity. Every time someone glanced her way, they looked away fast. Some even whispered. I caught phrases like siren, and the war, and don't sit there. I didn't know much about her species then, only that they'd been our enemies not long ago. The war had ended in uneasy silence, and now, apparently, one of them was here. On our shuttle. Alone. When my eyes met hers, I froze. She didn't glare. She didn't threaten. She just looked tired. The seat beside her stayed empty. I could have stayed standing. There was enough room in the aisle. But something in me, something that always hated seeing anyone isolated, made my feet move before my brain caught up. Hey, I said awkwardly, gripping the seat handle. Mind if I sit here? The entire cabin went silent for a beat. Her gaze flicked up, wary, unreadable, then softened just a little. She nodded. You may. I sat down. The seat hissed as it adjusted to my weight. A few passengers muttered under their breath. One guy near the front shook his head in disbelief. I ignored them. Her presence felt strange. The air seemed cooler around her, filled with a faint hum, like energy waiting to discharge. I'm Eli, I said, trying to sound casual. You're headed to the academy too? Yes. Her voice was smooth, melodic, but with a resonance that vibrated faintly in my chest. You are not afraid? Should I be? I asked. Her head tilted. Most are. I shrugged. Most don't make very good first impressions. That was the first time I saw her smile, small, uncertain, but real. Middle. Her name was Arivale, though she told me to just call her Ari. At the academy, she was assigned to the same xenobiology course as me. We saw each other in lectures in the cafeteria, in the training labs. And everywhere we went, the same thing happened. People avoided her. Some stared with fear. Others with contempt. Rumors spread fast that her species, the Zyrene Dominion, had killed thousands during the border conflicts, that she was here as part of some secret peace deal, that she didn't even breathe air but drained it. Most of it was nonsense. Still, she ate alone every day until I sat with her again. Over time, I learned little pieces about her world. The Zyrene didn't see themselves as individuals the same way humans did. Their people shared thoughts in a kind of harmonic link, not words but emotions, sensations, instinctive understanding. That's why she seemed so quiet. To her, speech was a burden. To speak meant to separate herself from what she used to be. Once, during a study session, I asked her what silence felt like to someone like her. She thought for a long time before answering. It is like breathing, but the air has forgotten your name. That stayed with me. Despite the tension on campus, we became friends, real ones. We studied late, sparred in the zero-G gym, even watched old Earth films together. She didn't get most of them. Why does he chase her through rain when he can simply call? But she laughed more now. Then came the incident. It was during a Xenotech exercise. A fusion core malfunctioned. Energy buildup, containment failure. A dozen students trapped behind a failing barrier. I was one of them. Alarms screamed. The barrier flickered. Heat waves rolled through the chamber, warping the air. Everyone panicked, except Ari. She stepped forward, eyes glowing faintly. "Move away," she commanded, her voice layered with strange harmonics. Before I could stop her, she pressed her hand against the energy field, and the entire core's vibration changed. The glow pulsed, dimmed, then stabilized. But the backlash hit her hard. I caught her before she fell. Her skin burned cold against my hands. "Ari, what did you do?" "I resonated," she whispered weakly. "Shifted the frequency. Human machines are so loud. You could have been killed." She blinked slowly. "So could you." That day, no one could deny what she'd done. She saved all of us. Still, the Academy Board called her reckless. Unauthorized interference with experimental technology, they said. A diplomatic incident waiting to happen. When I visited her afterward, she was sitting by the viewport, staring at Earth turning far below. "They wish me gone," she said quietly. "Your people do not want to be saved by mine." I sat beside her again. Same as before. "Then they're idiots," I said. "You saved lives. That matters." She looked at me for a long time, long enough that I wondered what she saw in me. "Eli," she said, almost gently, "you are different. You look without armor." "Armor. All your kind wear it," she said. "Words, smiles, noise, protection against what you feel." I laughed softly. "Maybe, but sometimes we need to take it off." Ari smiled faintly. "And what happens then?" "Then," I said, "we see each other for real." The shift. Weeks passed. The diplomatic review dragged on. Tension on the station grew worse, not just about her, but about humans and aliens sharing space at all. Then one night, everything changed. I woke to emergency sirens. The station shook violently. Over the comms, a voice screamed, "Unidentified vessel approaching. Breach in progress." I ran into the corridor, students and officers rushing past in chaos. Through a viewport, I saw a dark shape emerge from the shadow of the Earth. A warship. Zyrene. It fired, not at the planet, but directly at us. The Academy's defense grid flared, intercepting the blasts. The station trembled again. And amid the confusion, Ari appeared, her eyes brighter than I'd ever seen them. "They are here for me," she said simply. "What do you mean?" I shouted. "My family, my command. They believe I am prisoner. They come to reclaim me, or destroy what holds me. Then we have to talk to them, tell them. There is no time." She turned to me, expression unreadable. "You must evacuate. Not without you." Her gaze softened. "Eli, please." The corridor shook again. I grabbed her arm, dragging her toward the escape bay. "I didn't sit next to you just to watch you die." The door sealed behind us as the lights flickered red. The hangar beyond was chaos. Shuttles launching, people screaming. She stopped suddenly, pressing her hand to a control panel. Strange symbols rippled across it, as if the metal itself recognized her. "What are you doing?" I demanded. "I can stop them," she said quietly. "But I must speak to them in the old way." The air vibrated. A low tone built in her chest, rising, resonant, impossible. My skin prickled as light bled from her eyes, her hair flaring like living fire. The comms burst to life. Not in English, not in any known tongue, but in pure feeling. Every person on the station heard it. Fear, sorrow, pleading, truth. And somehow, across the void, the warship stopped firing. The silence that followed was absolute. When the glow faded, Ari collapsed. I caught her before she hit the floor. "It is done," she whispered weakly. "They understand." "What did you tell them?" "That I am not a prisoner. That I am home." Her fingers tightened around mine, the same way they had in the shuttle so long ago. Ending. After that night, everything changed again, but this time for the better. The Zyrene ship stood down. A formal meeting was held between their delegation and the Human Council aboard Sol Station. It was the first real moment of peace since the war. And it happened because of her. She was hailed as a bridge between our worlds. The Academy reinstated her, this time with full honors. But even as officials praised her, I knew none of them understood what it had cost her. The loneliness, the silence, the courage to reach across species and say, "I see you." When the celebrations ended, I found her sitting at the same spot as before, near the viewport, watching Earth spin below. "You could have gone back," I said softly. "I could," she replied, "but I chose to stay." "Why?" She turned toward me, and in her eyes, the reflection of the stars shimmered like tears. "Because," she said quietly, "among your kind, someone offered me a seat." I smiled. "Guess that worked out all right, huh?" Her lips curved in that slow, luminous way only she could smile. "Perhaps," she said, "though I am told humans find meaning in strange places." "Maybe," I said, sitting beside her again. "But sometimes meaning finds us first." We sat in silence after that, not the heavy, awkward kind, but the kind that fills every space with understanding. Outside, Earth turned, blue and bright, fragile and infinite. And for the first time since the wars began, two species shared something deeper than peace. They shared a moment, all because one human saw a stranger and offered her a place to belong.